All right. Hey guys, just trying to get this going here. All right, looks like we're going live. Let's share this stuff. Page. All right, my chat. Let me make sure it's working here. Yeah, there we go. Hello, hello. How you guys doing? Okay. I don't want to have too many things going at the same time because it'll eat up my bandwidth. Hey, what's up, me? Okay, so this is the same guy we were working on last week. This week I wanted to give him some expressions. I want to try some expressions and we'll kind of see what happens. So, sure we're good. All right. From Romania. What time is it in Romania? And hello. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so for starters, I want to open his mouth. I've already duplicated this off. Can you guys hear me okay? Is this working well? And I have topological turned on with a range of 3. And I just want to open his mouth. I've hidden these things so I can get in here. 8 p.m. Wow. Other side of the world. Oops. I need to do that. I'm going to smooth this out. Okay, and hopefully I have a large enough mouth cavity. I think I do. To make this whole thing work well. Need to edit the actual cavity itself. So it looks like lips and gums and all that business. Hey Liam, how's it going? From Brazil. Nice. I have a couple friends from Brazil. I'd love to visit someday. Okay. Wondering who's on at the moment, forgot. Yep. Chain time, Monday time. Here we go. All right, I'm just carefully just kind of working this mouth interior to be a nicer shape here. And then I want to fix this tongue so it fits better. Kind of looks funny right now. All right, and then these teeth. Let's see. want to rotate these so they go along this lip edge. Whoops. Didn't have mirroring on. Turn mirroring on. Hey Nathaniel, how's it going? Move that pivot down so I can rotate these out a little bit. Let's pull up our reference just to kind of see what these teeth look like. Pull this mic a little closer. I just want to kind of focus on this one. So we have some sharp ones and some in-betweens, and then these kind of squared off ones, and then a couple molars in the back. I want to try and get this shape of his throat. It looks like I accidentally smoothed out his color on his lips. So he no longer has that black line. We'll get it back. I hope not, Chuck. I really hope not. That would not be good. I do like those memes going around though that say, stay inside, you know, and then the introverts that are like, I already do that. I'm good. That's me. I'm not really. I'm an extrovert when it comes to like talking to people when I'm actually out. But I do enjoy my time at home and, you know, my video games and my family and all that goodness. Okay. Don't lick the screen. Oh, thanks, Nicholas, or Nathaniel, sorry. So close. All right. Let's draw, or let's insert, let's do a sphere for the upper teeth here. Actually, I'm going to undo that and grab this color first. There we go. So when you insert a multi-mesh, it will grab whatever color you currently have active when you push that, when you insert the mesh. So keep that in mind if you want to save some time in filling your object with color. Got these two round teeth, that's pretty good, right? Hey! Awesome, my grandson's here right now. He's upstairs. He's one. A lot of fun. Let's see. I think he might even be, trying to remember, he might even be 2. Let me see. I can't remember. I'm too old. Okay, I'm going to split this off. I'll do split to parts. Oh, looks like it split it into 2. I didn't want that. I just wanted it. Merge this down so there. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. All right, let's center this and move it. Just edit it. I'm still getting used to working on I'm actually on a Mac these days, which is crazy to me. I've been a PC person for almost my entire career, which I still consider myself a PC person. I only picked up this iMac to do some video editing for I'm updating my course, and I wanted to increase my production value. So I picked up a Mac to do that with. But it turns out I've been doing a lot of ZBrushing on this Mac, and it's kind of interesting. It's quiet, and it's stylish, whatever that means. And I like it. I like it so far. But it's actually eerily quiet. Like, are you sure that thing's turned on? Kind of quiet. Hey Ken, how's it going? Let's see. I'm going to solo this now, and I want to kind of merge these guys together into one big kind of tooth section. That makes sense at all. Hey Chris, how you doing? Okay. I want to inflate this one into its neighbor so then I can stitch them together. Same with this center. I want to keep this kind of change of direction here and here, but I do want to stitch them together and kind of, yeah. So I think trying to decide if I want, maybe I'll just keep them like that. You want the new community, Chris? It's soon. Okay, very soon. So they're talking about the new student community. I'm working on a new discourse for the students, and it's a lot like the ZBrush Central. ZBrush Central is built on discourse, and so it's a lot like that. I'm really excited because a long time ago we used to, like a year and a half maybe, we used to use Google Plus for the student community, and that was nice. And then I had to switch when they shut down Google Plus, and that was a sad day. So I've found Discourse, and I found a programmer to help me build it, and it's coming along swimmingly, and I actually have a top row and everything. So yeah, I'm excited to get everybody in there, Chris. Very soon, very soon. I'm glad you're anxious. Oh, you did the Mushu. Awesome. Okay. But Tom Bancroft would like to see that. You know, I'm going to round out these bottom teeth just because, well, I can sharpen these ones up here and then round these ones out a little bit, just so they look like they belong in the same head. So you can inflate them as well. I haven't seen Neil yet today. I'd have to agree with you there. She's great. So Tom Bancroft is the guy who animated him. If you guys don't know that. Discourse, Nathaniel, Discourse. It's really close to Discord, but Discourse is a forum, where Discord is like a chat program and a voice program, you know. So I use them both actually in my course. So yeah, I wish they weren't so close because I get them mixed up all the time. All the time. Okay, let's get some molars in there. Maybe I want to spread these bottom teeth out so they're like this. Yeah. Yeah, the name Discourse really gets me confused. Maybe not. I kind of like how they interlock, but they need to interlock better when they close. So maybe pull it in. Hey Samarian, how you doing? Hey Anamari. Welcome. So when you did the retop on Kate, I noticed you seemed to ignore the suit seams, but for 3D print, would you retop the suit lines or bring it back into ZBrush and project them? For 3D printing, for 3D printing, I don't retopologize that. If you're going to be hold on. if you're going to be 3D printing your character, you do not need to use retopology. If you are going to create a low resolution mesh for a game or film or television, you will need to retopologize it. You can use your retopologized character for 3D printing, but if you're going to do that, what you'll have to do is subdivide, like bring in your low resolution mesh. You don't have to follow those seam lines, just subdivide it down. So you bring in your low poly mesh, subdivide it, and then project your details from your original back onto your new mesh with the subdivision levels that have enough geometry in order to hold the details. So that's kind of how you'd use it, or kind of how you do it, I guess. All right, struggling to choose what to sculpt for WoW. Procrastination is limbo. Just said I would start doing all WoW races with the shade. So far, so good. How do you narrow down your choices? Yeah, whatever, you know, whatever floats your boat, wherever your passion lies, that's what I usually go for when I go to sculpt characters, you know. I'll find a fun character on Pinterest or something just like this, and I'll go, oh, well, that looks fun to model, you know, and then I'll just model it. So, a lot of people ask me, like, how do I choose what to model? For me, it's just a personal preference, personal choice. If it looks like, you know, and I have modeling experience, so when I look at these illustrations, I can kind of tell how easy or difficult it's going to be to model, because a lot of concept artists will cheat the backside. So what I mean by that is, if I turn my head, there's this front side of my face, which is closest to the camera, and then the back side of my face. And a lot of concept artists draw it so they don't match. So when it turns, it just doesn't match. And you're going to struggle with that as a 3D artist, because you're going to be like, well, which one should I model? Should I model the cheek that's out to here, or this cheek that's pushed in? That's usually what they do, is push this one in and pull this one out, and they don't match. So I usually like to try and find characters that will work in a turn or work in the round, as my friend Danny Williams likes to say. So there's, yeah, it's a definite trap. And there are certain concept artists that really, really push it and cheat. And it's like, yeah, it just kind of comes with experience, whether you know if it'll work or not. You're just trying to clean up my lines and I get lumps and bumps here and there. Yeah, you'll get lumps and bumps when you have high resolution. So if you're trying to work on your mesh and move things around when it's really high resolution, that's where the lumps and bumps come from. So if you have a low resolution mesh and a high resolution mesh, like subdivided, you can go down to your lowest subdivision level, make those large changes, and then go back up in subdivision levels, and your high level detail should follow along for the ride without getting those lumps and bumps. What's the difference between modeling and sculpting? That's actually a pretty good question. So what I consider modeling is actually starting from like a box, and it's like traditional modeling, starting with a box and extruding faces and cutting in edge loops and things like that. That to me is modeling. Sculpting is when you are not paying as much attention to the geometry and you have a high dense mesh and you're just kind of pushing things around with brushes rather than manipulation tools like transpose tools and things like that. So I actually did traditional modeling for most of my career, like a good 15 years of my 20 plus year career. I only have been sculpting for the last 5. So you still sculpt when you're doing traditional modeling, like they call it pushing points. You're still moving around vertices, which is in essence sculpting, but it's not really like you do in ZBrush, because you're moving it point by point. I mean, you can have a big fall off radius on your point move, but you're not really using brushes. You can, but it wasn't really that way until you know, a good 5 to 7 years ago, something like that. Okay. Now that I have these teeth, let's do the molars back there. Walked into that trap multiple times. It looked easy enough. Technically you can, but still turn. So yeah, it's just, it makes it difficult. I mean, then you kind of have to, decide, right? You have to use your own design intuition and figure it out. As far as if you have two different sides of a character that don't match, you get to figure it out. Yes, that's Danny Williams' Point Pusher. Yeah, it's right in his name, Point Pusher. He pushes points. he's a fantastic sculptor as well. But I'm just making some molars. Squarish. They look like those cube gum, the gum that you can buy that's, I want to say, I was going to say cubular. Totally cubular. Just kind of pulling out these bumpies, pulling in the valleys. There we go, molar. Yeah, the fill brush, the smooth brush is your friend. And like I said during my ZBrush presentation I did a while back, when I said you keep it clean by not touching it, that's kind of what I meant, is the more you work the surface, the more you're going to introduce lumps and bumps. So the cleanest surface you can possibly get is one where it's just a low resolution mesh that's been subdivided. That's how you get it clean. Chiclets are kind of like, they're a little flatter, you know. These are like cube gum. Chiclets are like the front teeth. Okay, let's see how those look. Maybe I gotta, now that I have those back molars in place, I'm gonna move them forward a little bit. You can only see the one. So now I need to move the tongue to fit. And then I'll need to move the mouth interior to fit. Yeah, regularly Z-remesh. So that's a good way to do it. The problem with continually Z-remeshing is that it will shrink your mesh every time you do it. And you'll also lose some of your loops and your details. So you just kind of have to be careful with that. Okay, let's do double-sided. Oh. I want this group as well. There we go. Okay, now you can see how messed up this mouth interior is. Let's figure it out. Hey, Michael. Oh, for the first time, awesome. Watched most of your replays. My work has improved massively. Oh, thank you. So I'm just adjusting this to engulf these teeth and the tongue. And I kind of want to make that throat. We'll see what we can do there. Hello? Hello, hello. So Pusher was one of them. Got me interested in ZBrush. Shane showed me the technique that made it click. Oh, thanks. You mean Point Pusher? Pixel Pusher, Point Pusher. Yeah, Danny, not Danny Mac, but Danny Williams. He is the guy who showed me that custom user interface in ZBrush is possible. Did you set the poly groups for the mouth early on? Yes, I did that last week. If you want to go watch last week's session, you can see how I did that. Keeps the geo following the form regardless of what I sculpt. Yeah, it just depends. Because it will destroy your details, so then you'll have to subdivide it and then reproject the details back on. Okay. So for this throat, I want to try just masking this back here. And then I'm going to do an edge loop mask border. I might, yeah, that's what I thought. It has to be showing, the whole mesh has to be showing. So let's do a solo. Then edge loop mask border. And what that does is that's going to put an edge loop around the masked area, like so. And then I'm going to turn off dynamic subdivisions. This isn't the cleanest mesh at all whatsoever. This is just a sculpting mesh. So now I can just grab the Z modeler and just kind of pull this out and down for that little throat thingy. What's the name of that throat thingy? Okay, I'm going to put all these in one poly group. No, not the esophagus. The little dangly thing. Close. Uvula? I don't know. Sounds good. The tonsils. It's like a trivia question. Oh, we're missing a piece here. Let's go back around. That little purple piece. There we go. Tonsils are actually further down your throat. Okay. Awesome. All right. I don't know what edge loop mask border will do to this piece. Yep, speed back. That's what I call it. Funny. All right. With this, I just want to extrude it down, kind of down the throat a little bit. Let's see. Poly group, single. Maybe that. Let's inset this. Poly group all, inset region. Extrude. Oops. I need to extrude poly group all. Yeah, this is kind of traditional box modeling. Just extruding and whatnot. I'm just basically wanting to make a throat. It goes down. Okay. Now I can edit the speed bag a little bit. It's the official title. It's not an uvula. Uvula. It is. Okay. And let's just cut some edges. Insert edge loops. That way I can kind of shrink it down. Yeah. It's just a matter of like smoothing and inflating. One more. Okay, there we go. Good enough. Probably make the throat a little bit wider back there. And this, these faces are horrible right there. Look at all those triangles. We're gonna ignore those right now. There he is, the little speed bag. All right, grab the color. Paint it. All right. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna add some kind of fake ambient occlusion. I want to push these molars down too. Let's see. Down. They're kind of buried. It doesn't really have gums. I haven't made him any. I could. They're just kind of floating in there. Try and decide if I want to. Hey, what's up, Slug? How you doing, man? My dad's CDO of doctors. Yep. See? Okay, I'm going to duplicate these and make them molars for the top, but I don't want them in this subtool set. I'm actually going to split unmasked points and make them part of the other ones, which are here. Okay, so now they're all part of the same subtool. Hey, what's up, Charles? All right, so I got to flip those molars around. They're upside down. Whoop. See how they look up in there. I want to shift them forward a little bit too. We can turn on transparency. Should you always model a reference in a standard position and not the depicted position? For the most part, yes. So the reason why is because you want your model to be at a neutral pose. So then you can start from there and then push it into different expressions. If you started with an expression and then you tried to push it neutral, it's way more difficult to do. So the only exception to that rule is if you're only doing a sculpt for 3D printing or something like that, and you're only doing one expression, and you'll get a little more life out of it if you don't have symmetry on sometimes. So I will still model it symmetrically and then get to a certain point and then pull it out of symmetry and just stick with it from there on out. So, and I haven't done very many models that way, but I have done a few. And if you're a traditional sculptor, you don't get to have symmetry, so. Okay, let's see. I think I am gonna give him some gums. It just looks weird without gums. So let's make him some gums. I think what I'm gonna do is, well, let's duplicate this. So I have one and hide the other, and then I'm just going to hide the lower jaw and draw on it. It'll look really funny for a minute. Let's see, I have this lower jaw, and then because you can't draw on topology that has a bit of it hidden, so the reason I duplicated it is so I can delete the rest. Oh, it's deleted. This is just this lower jaw, and then I can grab this topology brush and just draw where I want the gums. Maybe something like that. Hey Andromeda, how are you doing? I love that Rainbow Bright you did, by the way. Thanks for sharing it on the forum. It turned out great. Okay, let's see. Let's make this a single-sided, split, unmasked points. And here's our gums. Okay, I'm gonna make them a little lighter red though. Let's see. Boom, boom. There we go. And uncrease all. Okay, now that we have this band, you can just kind of edit it a little bit, even out these points. And then I want to sink it into the mouth on the front bit here. There we go. Now we can just grab our Z modeler and extrude it. So extrude polygroup all. Oh yeah, my pleasure. Okay, so now this top section, I like to taper it a little bit. I'm just going to pull these points in. One by one. A little tedious, but it's more controlled that way. Okay, so let's turn on dynamic and kind of see what that looks like. Okay, let me, I'm gonna hide, well, I'm gonna delete this now. I don't need it anymore. Now I can make these gums kind of match teeth. We'll inflate back here. There we go. So I think I want to make these gums kind of a closer color to the tongue, actually. Maybe just on the top. So we get a little bit of ambient occlusion kind of on the bottom, and then we can make them fade to dark as it goes back into the mouth. Like that. Okay. Is there a way to precision mask by, say, polys? I come from 3D Studio Max where you could grow a selection, etc. Is there a... there is. So, hey, no worries, Neil. Glad to see you. I was worried about you, man. Thanks for coming, though. Appreciate it. Okay. Hold on, let me just get this into place here. So there's grow mask and there's grow selection. Okay, so let's solo these gums here. Now, masking in ZBrush, the feedback it gives you is not what you're used to in 3D Studio Max. I learned with 3D Studio Max when I was first modeling back in, I learned, well, in 1990, I think no, sorry, not 1998, 99 is when Max first came out. So, I started learning, this is going to tell you how old I am. I started learning in 3D Studio 3, which was on DOS, which was before Windows. So I'm old. So 3D Studio Max. Anyway, so the masking, basically what you can do is when you mask something, okay, it's going to mask the point. So, and it kind of looks like here, let me duplicate this. Yeah, I prefer to think about it as experienced, not old. Okay. Okay, so see this? It kind of looks like vertex coloring, the masking does. So you can see this one point is masked. See that? So that's how you can precisely mask points. You cannot mask a face. You cannot mask an edge. You can only mask points, okay? So that's, let's see. Oh, that was masked when I filled it. Let me fill it again. Okay, so, but you can grow a masking selection. Like say if I want to, I can grab all the points that make up this ring right here. See how it's kind of soft around the edges? See how it fades? This ring is masked, but it's not really the ring, it's the points. So you can go over to masking over here and see it says grow mask, right? Where is it? Grow mask, right there, boom. So what that does is it grows to the next set of points, but it doesn't mask those points 100%. It's like a fall off. So then you can hit sharpen mask and it will sharpen to those points for the most part. It actually grew past that. So you can see now this, the back is not masked and this row is not masked. So you can actually kind of come in here. Whoops, that's selection. Sorry. I did it again. Gosh dang it. I'll get this. Okay, there we go. So this is, that's unmask. Okay. Okay, there we go. Is there mask in polygon actions in ZModeler? No. It's only, you can't mask a face, you can't mask an edge. If there is a mask polygon, it's going to mask the points. You can only mask points in ZBrush. So anyway, if you want to isolate an edge or isolate a face, okay, like this. I actually isolated two faces, but I isolated a face right here. Now you can grow and shrink that selection. So that's a hidden set, okay? So what I can do is underneath visibility, there's a grow and shrink in visibility. So I can grow this and you can see it grows to the next set of faces. Now, here's the tricky bit that it's going to confuse you coming from like Maya, Max, or whatever. If I mask this, okay, I'm going to mask this, and it looks masked, okay? And now if I reveal everything else, you will think, oh, I didn't mask all those faces, so they should be unmasked. Well, it's not true because you actually masked the points, not the faces. So the shared, see how it still is bleeding into those faces that were hidden. Okay, so it's just think about it. I can only mask points. That's how it works. Yeah. Okay, so when you, another thing to think about is like say I'm gonna mask, let's do a mask lasso. I'm gonna mask these points right here. So I just masked these 4 points, okay? Since it has 4 points masked, if I hit Control W, it's going to, here, let me get another color so you can see it. Okay, so Control W will take whatever is masked and assign a poly group to it. Okay, so then it's easier to manipulate that way. But if I want to hide that face by itself, I have to kind of draw around it like this and then hide it that way. And it's going to show whatever you circled. Okay, but if you're going to like hide everything around it face by face, you have to go, you hold down Control plus Shift, okay? So it's still green, and then hold down Option or Alt, let go, and everything that's underneath that red line is going to be hidden like this, okay? And you can get to it that way. And then so basically you can either grow or shrink masks. You can sharpen masks, you can blur masks, and you can grow and shrink visibility when you've selected something that's hidden. So hopefully that helps. All right. Yeah. Hey, Ash, what's going on, man? Ashley's in the house. Yep, no worries. Ashley missed it. I just barely gave a lesson on how masking works in ZBrush. How crazy it is. Here, let me unhide this. Let me delete a little piece, and let's show what I'm working on. I'm working on this guy. I'm just trying to build out his mouth so we can do some of these awesome expressions. Yeah, good times. Done by Cecile. Carre, sorry, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name or her name. I'm not even sure. Male, female. Yeah, so here we go. Thanks, Neil. How about you? What have you been up to? Besides getting ripped. Jeez. Okay. I'm not going to say anything about that on the stream. Get in trouble. Okay. Duplicate these gums. I'm just going to flip them around so they can be the top gums now. Abram, I can't today because it's not part of this character, but I've done it. Well, I've kind of done it before. Maybe on a stream in the future. That masked? Okay, it is. All right. Oh, geez. I didn't mean to turn that on. Zip. No symmetry when you do this. Thank you. All right. And let's put it up into place. Get up in your mouth. There we go. Fungums.com. Probably a thing. There we go. I gotta give this guy. I got rid of his black lips on accident. I need to paint him back in. And give these teeth some ambient occlusion. So Ashley's another streamer on here. Are you gonna stream tomorrow? I can never remember. And we got these fancy, oh, Wednesday, right, Wednesday, see? I can never remember. Wednesday. Yep, she does the most amazing monsters ever. There you go, thanks Neil. Did you see, we got these new bars down here. These fancy new graphics. Yeah, Ashley, I got me a Neil. A Link poster. He's like a real live robot that I appreciate profusely. Yep, A cubed. Sorry, A cubed. I know where is Ashley. A cubed. Do I have any retopology tutorials? I do in my online course, but not on YouTube. So I teach a full online course. It's called the 3D Character Workshop. That's this above my head right here. And it's a full lifetime access, huge student community, over 1,000 students in there. So if you want to learn how to make characters like this, I take you all the way through from start to finish. We talk about 3D printing, game characters, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, go check that out. And I also give away these brushes for free over there if you're interested, and this user interface. So Spark stopped streaming for ZBrush. I don't know who Spark is, I guess. All right, let's do the upper teeth. Taking some ambient occlusion here. For a game engine, yes. Teach you how to bake the maps. Make the textures. All that stuff. Yeah, those molars are still too bright. Come on, select them. There we go. Oh, Brett Briley. Yes, I know who he is. Yeah, he's just kind of busy with life. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him for a while. Okay, I gotta make these gums work better up front here. Those aren't working right. I know him as Brett. Hung out with him a lot last year during the ZBrush Summit. Oops. Interesting. Get back here. Okay, I need to turn on symmetry for this. These look like ape teeth. Let's shrink these down a little bit back here. Whoa, too fast. There we go. That's better. Okay, now on the inside. This is just a whole called the teeth stream. Welcome to the teeth stream. Yeah. Just fattening up these gums to surround the teeth. I love looking at characters without their face, too. It's nice. Yeah, dentist. Ugh. Thanks, Hopper. Ashley, you working on anything cool that you can talk about? Probably not, huh? Never. Thanks for the endorsement, guys. I should keep you guys around. All right, let's see. Now that we have that, let's save it. Before we go any further. You know what's funny, Pro, is my my kid's orthodontist is named Dr. Payne. No kidding. It's Payne, but still, it's Payne. What graphics card do you use? I don't even know. I'm working on an. It's silly, but I'm working on an iMac today. In my PC, I have two giant GTX 1080s, but I'm not. That's only good for rendering. It's not really good for using ZBrush. ZBrush is very CPU heavy, so the more threads you have in your CPU and the bigger it is, the better ZBrush will perform. But you can totally use ZBrush on a small iMac, not small, but smallish. So yeah. Okay. Gotta go. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. Make sure you go watch Ash on Ash Wednesdays. Is that a thing? That's horrible. A Cube Wednesday. What time? Before you leave, if you're not gone yet. All right, let's give this guy get his lips back. Oh, my lips back. Use ZBrush on a 10-year-old iMac. There you go. It works as long as you're not up in the bajillions of millions of polys. You should be good. Okay. Okay. Now this polypainting works a lot like that masking that I was just displaying, or I was just talking about, where when you're doing polypainting, you're painting the points, not the faces, not the edges, but the points. So the more points you have, the tighter your polypaint is going to be, the tighter the line is going to be. So when I paint these lips, you can kind of see it's pretty rocky, chunky, like chick, chick, chick. And that's because it's painting the points and there are very few of them. Because if you look at it, this is how many points we have across these lips. I'm actually going to isolate these and see if I can just fill this and I want to see what it looks like. If I do that, it's not bad. Maybe a little too far. So I'm going to undo that. Undo the paint job I did in the beginning. And I want to reduce the size of that poly group. Okay, just by 1. I want to reduce it by 1. So if you want to isolate 2 poly groups at the same time, what you can do is hold down Control plus Shift and click on a sharing point. And it will share those two. It will just isolate those two. Thanks, Neil. Yep, I can't wait to get the other students in there. And then I can hold down Control plus Shift and click on these edges to hide edge loops. Okay, I hit all of those, and now I want this last edge loop to become a part of the new poly group, this one. So I'm gonna hit Control W, put this in its new poly group, which essentially shrunk this one by 1. Okay, this ring. So now it only has 3 instead of 4. Now I can fill it with that black color, and his lips shouldn't be as thick of black. That's better. That feels better. It's like a dog's lips. You ever look at dog's lips close? They're black. That's crazy. It's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, let's save this. Are you planning on creating morph targets to get the similar moods in the reference brief? Probably not morph targets, Charles. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I'm probably going to do, I'll just save out different, save off different Z tools. But layers, because what Charles is talking about, I think, you can use ZBrush layers to utilize morph targets. And if you put those morph targets into ZBrush layers, what you can then do is use GoZ to export them over to Maya, and it will automatically put them into the proper morph target channels. So yes, Philip, this stream is on Twitch. It's actually a faster response. I think over on Facebook, it's a 20-second delay. Same with YouTube, there's a 20-second delay. So when you ask me a question, I'll answer it 20 seconds later if I actually see your question. If I buy this pack, will I be able to see everything including retopo? Yes. It's all there. You don't have to buy anything extra. Yep. Let's see. So the reason I typically don't try to do the morph targets with the layering system that way is because layers are, I'm just not a big fan of the layers. I want to have more control. So what I do use layers for is to test out surface details, because there's a really nice way to add a layer, cut in some details, or use alpha channels, or use alpha in different ways to create some surface detail. And then inside layers, you can add or remove those details or enhance those details. So that's what I use layers for. And it's really nice because this is my good friend Brad Bollender taught me this, where you can actually make a layer, put a detail on that layer, and say it's not bold enough. You need to actually make it stronger, the surface detail stronger. You can actually duplicate a layer and it will double the intensity of that stroke or that detail or whatever you have in that layer, which is super nice. So oh, you popped over to Twitch? Is that what you... Okay. Just using the spot to let you guys know that we have free update ZBrush 2020. Go grab it. Kevin, I'm on the same time I'm on every week, but we have daylight savings time here in Utah for now. They're actually trying to vote it away. So daylight savings time, I just barely thought about that. That's probably why Neil was late, right, Neil? So, yeah, daylight savings, we move the clock ahead an hour here. I know it's silly. It's just silly, but hey, that's why. But yeah, I've been going for an hour now. So I'll be going for another hour. I'm gonna try and get this first pose now that we have this done. Okay. All right, Lucky, sounds fun. Caveat with layers is that you're limited with your subdivision levels, right? Yes, you have to actually, you have to sculpt on the layer that you initiate the layer on. So if you start to sculpt on, like, say your model has 5 layers, or this subtool has 5 layers, or sorry, 5 levels of subdivision. Let me be clear. 5 levels of subdivision, and you start a layer on level 3, then you're going to have to stick with sculpting on level 3. Otherwise, how you can tell is the little eyeball will go away if you're on any other subdivision level. So you kind of have to stick there. So Lucky asked me. So in ZBrush, I'll just put it this way. In ZBrush, my favorite hairbrush right now is still the Mac-On hairbrush. I love that thing. It's really cool. But I have a favorite that I've been messing around with outside of ZBrush. So, but in ZBrush, I still love the Mac-On hairbrush. It's really nice. SK Wigglesworth, does intersecting eyes ever cause problems later on down the line, say rigging? As long as you don't weld them together, they're just fine. If they overlap on the inside of the head, they're a little troublesome to rig, but it's possible. So, like when I was working on Disney Infinity, we would overlap the eyes on the interior of the head all the time. just because the larger ones don't they don't have the really super tight curvature that your smaller eyeballs would have in your eye sockets. It makes the eyeballs look bulgy if your eyeballs are too small. So you can make them big inside the head and make them overlap inside the head. The only thing you should really care about is what those eyes look like in the eye socket on what you see. So, yeah. What's the one you use outside of ZBrush? Well, since this is a Pixologic Twitch channel, I only like to talk about ZBrush on this Twitch channel. So there are a ton of other options outside of ZBrush for like hair particles and, you know, XGen, all sorts of stuff. So you can explore all sorts of things. Hey, what's up, David? How you doing? Okay, so let's get to it. Start making this kind of shouting pose. Let's see how good we can do this. All right, I'm gonna delete this one. Just gonna clean up my subtool list and rename a couple things. Okay, head. So I know what's what. If I can, lower gums. This is the most exciting part, by the way. Gums. LWR teeth. T-E-E-F. Teeth. Upper teeth. All right. What do we got here? Lashes, brows. Okay. And you can see the eyes on this goblin are crossing inside the head. And if you do accidentally weld your eyes together inside your head, you should go see a doctor about that. No, you can always rebuild them later. And most of the time I actually do rebuild the eyes because I want to actually build the iris and the pupil and everything into the eyes if I go that far. So yeah, I'm on daylight savings time was just yesterday here in Utah. That's where I'm at, Utah. So, hey, what's up, Mike? Did you get daylight savings where you're from? They moved it up this year, which is crazy. All right. Yep, Mike, I'm still working on this dude. It's the end of the month, okay. So now I'm going to use T-pose mesh. And let's change this color so we can actually see it. Yeah, I really rocked it though. Got up early even for daylight savings. Nice. You need to know my system specs. It's an iMac. I don't know what the system specs are. Sorry. And I'm only on an iMac because of recording. I want to record. Okay, let me see. I gotta think about this. Let's see. Just gonna hide some stuff here. You know what? I need to make those gums a little bit more higher res before I do this. I'm gonna go back to sub T. You work in ZBrush? For the most part. Okay. So I'm just gonna add one level of detail to these gums. So Control D. and then delete lower. There we go. That's better. Okay. I want to render an artificial intelligent human face. I wouldn't know. Sorry. I've never done that in my experience. Will you be doing Wednesday and Friday this week? No, just Mondays. For my students, I'll be doing Friday, I believe, for my Q&A. Okay, now let's try this. But Ali, you can use ZBrush to start your high resolution character with, but as far as after ZBrush, where to take it and do what you need to do with it, I'm not sure. You might want to watch Michael Pavlovich. He's another streamer on here, and ask him that question. Oh yeah, last Friday, Kevin. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had a kind of low response on the character reviews. And I had some personal stuff going on, so I decided just to bag it for a minute and do it, postpone it till this week. Yeah, Majestic, there's some kind of things you can do. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to be moving the teeth after I pose the head here. So I'm just going to leave them behind for now and then move them into place. Let's see. I think I'm going to move. No. Okay. I'm just going to play with this for a second with an elastic brush. It's totally broken, but just wanted to try. Okay. Because what's going to happen with this is I'm going to stretch the eyeballs and I'll probably end up rebuilding them spherical. That's okay. Make some smaller movements. Maybe I'll do it the opposite way. You kind of have to experiment when you do this stuff. So I think what I'm going to do instead is tilt his whole head. And then bring his mouth down. So then I'm manipulating his mouth more. Come on. Sometimes this, when you do moves like this, see this like this crack thing? Sometimes you'll get that. And this is with move elastic. So it's kind of cracking that seam. That means that there's two lines taking up the same space, which is, I didn't find that out until just now. Okay, so let's No symmetry turned on. Let's turn on the symmetry. Okay. Finally caught me live. Hey. There we go. That's better. Sometimes you just have to experiment with stuff until it feels better. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna blend this. I guess I don't need the mask anymore. Turn topological off. I'm gonna bend these gums up. Masking those eyeballs. So I can give him the anger. Turn on the anger. So mad. All right, let's see if we can bring his ears down. Maybe more, huh? It's gonna break his head. I gotta be careful how this works. So the way I'm masking off these ears is if you have this transpose tool, this gizmo showing, you can hold down Control and drag down the length of the appendage, and it will mask off everything like that. Okay, let's see. Kind of swoop out, don't they? Any thoughts on using the trim hole to push the eye cavity in? I've never done that, Neil. So my thoughts are no thoughts. Sorry. Hey, what's up, Angry? I guess I'm old school, just kind of push it till it works. I'm gonna use the move elastic to try and get these pulled back out. I want them to swoop out. Move elastic's good for making large movements without causing too many warbles. Okay, I really want to stretch this face lengthwise. Then bring out the lips more. Yep. Or push it till it hurts, one of the two. Goes down. Oops. Regular move brush. We can fine tune this after we go back up. I call it going down to doing the T-pose master. I call it going down and back up. So like into this mode where everything is in one subtool, I call that going down into pose mode. And then coming back up from pose mode is by pushing T-pose. When you're done. Let's get this throat going. There's little punching bags flying like crazy. Kind of lost its symmetry too. Just turn symmetry off for a minute. Poor punching bag. It is a good time to add symmetry, I think. Or add asymmetry, I should say. Let's grab this whole thing. Turn it. Whoops, his eyes are coming too. Stay there, eyes. Yeah, David, you just have to be careful with Move Elastic because it will cause you grief. It's a weird brush. You just kind of have to make really small movements. It works best with like hair, capes, just big, long, flowing things that you don't want to ruin the flow of. But it's really spongy, I guess, is a good way to say what it does. Okay. Where did the lower gums go? There they are. Okay. I'm gonna hide this for a second. I just want to bring these gums up so I can work with them. Hey, what's up, Jimmy? How you doing, man? I'm just making this crazy expression guy. Kind of fun. Oh. Well, like sometimes it happens to the best of us. What are you up to, Jimmy? There's a delay on YouTube of like 20 seconds, so I'll ask you a question and then you'll answer me 20 seconds later. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this one lesson to take away from this posing exercise is you don't always have to pose everything at once. Meaning, you can see how I'm posing the teeth and the gums and all that later. I put him into this stretched out, yelling, angry pose first. Then I'll move the teeth into place because then I'll have a better chance of not stretching the heck out of all those pieces. Oh, you made something similar? Nice. Okay, let's see. Late night dad focus. It's true. I use the Move Elastic. Do you use the Move Elastic much, Jimmy, for your stuff? I was just saying I tend to use it a lot for big sweeping things. All right, Ika, take care, man. But looks like they still did get kind of tweaked a little bit. Stretch these out. I'll have to manually put them into place a little bit better. What time we got? 1:25. Okay, not bad. Oh, there goes my dog. Barking at something or somebody. Normal brush with lower intensity. Setting was say 40-ish. Oh, right. So I'm saying like the move elastic, it will give you that, you know, that sponginess. I was just saying I usually use it for like these ears or hair or capes or something that's long and flowy that the move brush will add kind of kinks to, whereas the move elastic brush will hold it together. You just have to be careful with the fall off. The fall off can be intense. Like little movements will push it all over the place. That elastic. You can see I'm still using it here. Just got to be super careful. Yeah, the intensity, I have mine set, my basic move brush to about 50, 40, something like that. Then it has a slower push and pull to it. Oh, you heard topology brush. Yeah, the move elastic. Oh, good. All right, now let's pull these because I really want this to feel like it's stretching these muscles down the sides of his face as he's yelling. Just kind of pinching in this whole area right here. Yeah, it's a good one. I like it a lot. Let me make sure I have this shape of this nose better. There we go. I'm definitely going to have to rework these eyes after we get back. Hey, what's up, Dan? Ronald Siri, fun. I got to check it out. All right. Ronald Siri. See this in perspective. There we go. Kind of getting there. The having no body attached to this head kind of throws you off a little bit. I think I am going to pull the back of this head in. Reduce some of that volume there. Why are you so angry? For pupils, what makes the best looking reflective pupils? Painting them in, digging into the eye socket, or making separate shapes for them? Jimmy, I think so. You might have to do it over on Twitch. I don't know that YouTube accepts links. Ooh, sorry about that. Let's see. Or you can send them to me on Facebook if you want. So Lucky, how that works, it depends on what you're going for. Like I will use all of the above. So for example, on Disney Infinity, for the toys, we would just have spheres without anything because they were going to be 3D printed. But for the game, we actually built out the iris and the pupil with a cornea on top, so the highlights would actually work correctly. And then in the larger sculpts, where they were just going to be printed in gray, you don't have that color information to show where the iris and stuff's going to be. So we would cut those out in traditional kind of David style, like the statue David, how it's cut out the iris and the pupil, and it has the extruded highlight floating there. So it just really depends on the goal of the eye itself. But if you're going to be doing an in-game eye, I recommend just building it out, you know, having it a sphere with a pole on the end, and then having the iris pushed in, have the pupil pushed in, just built out like a real eye, and then make a cornea that has actually it bubbles out above and beyond the eyeball itself. That way you get an actual highlight that follows on the, it's always on the cornea where it should be. So can you show the wetness of your eye as if it's got a little bit wet? I mean, that comes into the like material side of things, which you won't be doing in ZBrush. It will be in your game materials or television film materials, that kind of stuff. So yeah, a second sphere around the whole thing is one way to do it. That way you'll get a clean highlight that travels around, or you can put just a little kind of single-sided hemisphere over the top of the iris. I've seen that's another way to do it. That gets trickier because sometimes it will have a seam around the edge of the cornea. So yeah, it just kind of depends how the project is and how you want to build it out. Yeah. Okay, so let's pull these lips back. I want them kind of seething a little bit, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if this is going to grab on the other opposite side. I want to pull this back. Maybe like that. Still got to fix this little throat bag thing. Okay. All right, I'm going to push this back to out of this pose mode. And then I'm going to pull these ears down just a little bit more, I think. In your course, do you show how to create eyes in those different scenarios? Yes, somewhat. Yep. And if there's something that I don't show in the course that you want to see, you can always ask me to demo it for the Friday Q&A sessions. If I have time, I will. And sometimes I'll add new lessons too, if a lot of people want to know how to do a certain thing. Okay. let's go to this one. Ah, boom, easy. Is there a quick, yeah, there is. So you basically, if you have the gizmo showing like this, you just hold down Option or Alt and click on this this circle right here with the arrow, and it will orient it to the world. Okay, and then if you want to send it home, which if I show the floor, you hold down Alt or Option and hit this home button, and it will send it to 0, 0 in the world. So that's how you do that. Okay, let's finish this up here. What time we got? 1:35, okay. Adjust these eyebrows. See, now I go back into non-pose mode and just kind of refine things. Just making these eyebrows thicker as they reach the top there. Wish you could do a Photoshop in modules. What do you mean? Like learn it? Or pay for it in modules? Or I don't understand. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna change his eye shape. Make him a little smaller and pull down a little bit. Oh, learn Photoshop? There are a lot of Photoshop classes out there, like on lynda.com, and I would teach it myself, but there's just, it's already, the market's already saturated with Photoshop tutorials. I've actually been using Affinity Photo lately too, because it's not a subscription. I like ZBrush, where it's you have the opportunity to either pay for it outright or subscribe. Love that. But when you force me to subscribe, don't give me the option to buy it outright. That's when I have a problem with it. But I don't want to get into a debate about that right now. Okay. I don't know if, okay, let me turn off symmetry on this guy. Now, I'm gonna adjust these pupils, scale them down and push them into the, so he looks like he's looking down. In rage, full rage mode. I buried him too much. There's perspective too. You have to keep into consideration where it's kind of pulling this eye and making it smaller because his head is coming away from the camera. Oops. Okay. pull this color down and lift this one up. Lucky I've not seen it yet. I want to. I'm a huge fan of the Next Generation. Have you been watching it? And is it good? I've heard it's really good. I want to check it out, but it's a highly opinion based, huh? Okay. Opinion on whether you like Next Generation or not, or Star Trek in general, or I think I'm going to pull these brows down a little more. More rage. Oh, I don't know. I don't get into that. With me, it's more like, is this entertaining? Do I want to watch it? I don't care about, is this true to this or that? Old member card. Good. I'll probably love it then. Old man Picard. Okay, I'm gonna actually off double. Let's apply this dynamic and make a couple more subdivision levels because I want to actually get this nose line cut in here with the detail brush. I think that'll help. There we go. Yeah, that helps him angry. Turn this intensity down. He has a dog called number 1. Oh, make it so. When he takes him to the bathroom, make it so, number 1. Make number 2 number 1. I'm horrible. Horrible. All right, let's fix those teeth. Turn off symmetry. Not what I wanted to do, is it? Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. Pull these gums up into his face more. I don't really see him that much. And grab these teeth and pull them up too. Just fine tuning. Then I want to fix these nostrils. These nostrils are not good. I don't know what they're even doing. I don't know that I don't have symmetry right there. I keep wanting it, but I don't get it. Excuse me. Oh, let's see. I'm just going to push. Yeah, the Next Generation for me is kind of a chicken noodle soup for the soul kind of show, like Avatar: The Last Airbender is for me. You know, like I come down with the flu or something, just watch the Avatar or Next Generation, just like feel good TV, you know. Let's see if this will even work. Yeah, Jimmy. Yep, I'd always sit down and watch it. I'd actually go over to my friend's house and watch it. I don't think I'm ready for that. It's too bold. Let's go. Just throw on some ambient occlusion under here to make it stand out a little bit more before we throw that other color on there. Welcome back. There was an episode of some kind of snail-like parasite. Oh yeah, and now we're living it. But I remember the one you're talking about. Yep. Well, or like that thing they stick in their ears in Khan. That freaked me out. Jeez. Wrath of Khan. The dude from Fantasy Island. Couldn't sleep after that. Putting something in my ear. I saw it in a big theater too. When it first came out, Wrath of Khan. Fix this. Wonder how many artists that grow up with monster movies? I would say all of them. No, I guess if their parents let them watch them, huh? Okay, I'm going to try and make his nose bigger. The connection point is not what I want it to be. Which of course introduces all sorts of warbles. All right, let's try some light color in here to darken those up. That's much better. There we go. Yeah, see how warbly that nose is now? Driving me crazy. The trouble with warbles. It's a hard nose to get right, that shape. It's really crazy shape nose. Okay, let me save this as Goblin Angry. I should name it Goblin Angry Monday, right? Angry. All right. Those molars. I kind of want to just take one and stretch it out so there's not two in there, but because it's kind of drawing some attention to itself, you know? That's always what I try to avoid when modeling, is if your eyeball goes right to something, it's probably not what it should be. Unless unless the intention is there, you know. Oh, Salem's Lot. Oh my gosh. So for me, it was Poltergeist. I was in California, and my uncle took me to go see Poltergeist, and I was like 12 or 13 or something like that, and I couldn't sleep for weeks. Gosh. Go to the light. Yep. You watch it Halloween? Oh man. All right, so I'm not a fan of this. See how you can see the ears coming up from behind rather than where I actually made them connected. Let me see if I can just fiddle with that a little bit. I don't think it's going to work because they're too far forward. An alien. Oh, and the thing. The thing did it. That was one of them. Yeah, the thing was crazy. Pull this out. And down. I like this stretched. Asymmetric, kind of raw. Maybe push this in over here. All right, I'm actually pretty happy with that. I didn't see Event Horizon. Yeah, that's the one with the that's Poltergeist. Lucky. Are you answering somebody, Ika? What are you saying? How to get the silhouette of the thumbnail complete clear with the background? Oh, I can just show you that. So, yeah, basically all you do is you change this color, your regular color, to black. Like 100, it has to be 100% black. Okay. Then you go to Preferences, Thumbnail, and then click on the word that says background right here, and it'll change it. So if it's not that, if it's white, this is how it's default. If it's white, I'll click on background. You can see this is what it looks like default. You can also change, whoops. You can also change the thumbnail size right here. But if you want the background transparent with this white, then just go all the way black and then click on background right here and it'll do that. And you can check your silhouette right here. Yep. Yep, no worries. Oh, there's the bot again. Just letting you guys know. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I need to get ready to go here soon. Pull this up just a little bit. Help that expression. But there we go. Rah. Listen here, you son of a. Oh, dang. Sorry, Dan. Yeah, the only thing I'm not super duper happy with is maybe I'd probably mess with the teeth a little bit more, make that tongue a little bigger, and pull the ears down. But other than that, I think it turned out okay. Yeah. Love the little angry guy. Thanks so much. I know, stinking time change. Well, hopefully next week you'll know that I'll be... It's actually in the legislation here in Utah to not have daylight savings like Arizona. Arizona doesn't observe daylight savings. Thanks, Jimmy. So, yeah, I'll make it bigger. Bigger. And like I always say, I teach an online online course. If you want to check it out, it's called 3D Character Workshop. You can go over to 3dcharacterworkshop.com. Check it out over there. If you click on the button, it'll take you to a video that talks to you all about what the course is, what you'll get, lifetime access, risk-free, 30-day guarantee on the thing. So if you don't like it, you can always refund it. So just if you get in there, usually I hardly have anybody refund, which is nice. So and if you want these brushes for ZBrush, I give them away for free over on the same site. Right on the front page, you can get them, and this user interface and my ruler file, if you want to check that out. That's what I do full time. I teach people how to make characters like this full time. So if you're interested in doing this, it's a great course to do. And like you can see, there's a lot of my students here with us in this channel, and we're just getting a brand new community going. Super exciting. Can't wait for people to see it. I'm actually going to show it to you right now, a little preview of it if you want to see. So it looks kind of like this. So this is all student work, none of my work. This is student work. So you can just kind of see where people are at. And there's some Ika's work and some of Neil's work. Yep. And it's a lot like ZBrush Central. We got a top row up here. Really exciting. Anyway, this is brand new. It's in beta. Actually, I haven't let all the students in yet. So join us today if you want to be part of that new forum. It's going to be a lot of fun. So take care, everyone, and we will see you same time, hopefully next Monday. All right? Take care, and we'll see you later. Cheers. Oh, I gotta turn this thing off. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out.